Thank you for joining me today. I'm Sandra at SandraR, and I've got this beautiful embossing card today. I've used some gold embossing on this beautiful Birthday Blooms stamp set. It's a new one out in the spring and summer catalogue. Lovely stamp set this. Beautiful flower there with a little tiny flower bud. And sentiments as well, so very useful when it comes with sentiments as well. And then at the last minute I noticed, at the last minute I noticed this lovely row of hearts, which at first glance you tend to miss in the stamp set, which is along here, and so I run that along my outside edge of my card because I thought that was lovely. So you do miss that if you're not careful, you don't notice it, you just notice this. So be aware that you've got that beautiful little hearts going on. So let's get cracking with that. So I've used here Rich Raspberry with the Rich Raspberry ink, Garden Green and Pear Pizzazz inks. And today I'm going to use Blushing Bride cardstock, and this is some watercolour paper. It's called Shimmery White paper in the catalogue, and it's got a very slight shimmer to it, and it's good for watercolouring, so I'm using that today. So this is half of an A4 sheet cut in half, and of course I've done my lovely rounded corners. I think that must be my signature on every project I make. I do love little rounded corners. So we'll get started on that, and we'll get started on doing a bit of gold heat embossing. Always lovely to do. So I've prepped my stamp up on its block. Quite a big stamp, that, beautiful. So we're going to go straight in with our embossing buddy, just to make sure we don't have any grease or dust or anything on there before we start to do our embossing. So wipe that over, and then using the Versamark watermark stamp pad, we then ink up, or I suppose you're putting glue on it, so you're gluing it up, aren't you? You're putting glue on your ink pad, shine it into the light to make sure that that's good and glued up, as they say. So then you position it. I'm positioning it with the two leaves there going downwards. So stamp down and press, just rub along to make sure that all that glue that you put on there comes off, up and on there. And I can see that that looks good. So now we're going for our gold embossing. So this is some gold embossing powder I'm shaking on here. Always like a bit of gold embossing, so shake that off. Give that a good tap. Just brush away where you don't want it. I think that looks good. Put this back in its container and move that out the way. Right, so I'm afraid it's going to get a little bit noisy while I just set that. So I think you'll agree that that's just looks so beautiful. So we run this over until it turns. You'll see it turn. As the heat gets to it, it will start to dull off, which shows you that it's setting. You can see that happening now in the middle. Finish up on that corner. so I'm going to put that to one side because we need to do a bit of gold embossing with this sentiment at the top. So we'll bring the paper back in. And I've prepped up the sentiment that says happiest of birthdays from this set. Same thing as before with our embossing buddy, just go over that. And then with our Versamark ink into there. I think that's good and inked up. And then just stamp that down. I'm just going to move it forward to me so that I can see without getting my head in the camera, to make sure that hopefully I've got that on straight. There. I think you can see that in the light. Put that away. Back with our gold embossing. Done. Let's put this away again. I expect I shall have glitter all over my desk now for days. But it's all good. Right, put that away. And sorry, a bit more noise again. Hopefully it won't be for very long. Now that that's warmed up, that's going off very quickly. Done that down there. Try and get rid of some of this glitter. Right then, so now we need to watercolour using our colours. So I've got my water here near me. I just need to get a couple of tissues just to clean my, sorry if I've knocked the table. So what we're going to do the flower first. So using the rose red ink and scrunching it, which I didn't do, scrunch off the colour before you open it up. And then that's in front of you like that. And this is the water aqua painters. And you go in with a bit of water, and I just move it around loosely because you just want to put a little colour on to start with. So you literally just go all the way around the flowers, and because you've got that gold embossing, the colour stays within those lines. And then the main flower, we go over that. So it's nice and easy to do. You're just putting a little colour on as you go. And while that's just drying off a bit, I'm going to do the green. No, I'm not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a bit more colour. I'm just going to wipe some of that water off the brush so that when I go in again, I'm picking up more of the dark part of the colour. And what I do is just a little bit of colour like that. A bit more colour in the centres, because the centres of rosebuds are always darker as they start to open. And the same on the flower, you just pick out some, the middle a bit darker. So it's nice and quick and easy to do, much quicker than you would think. And you just go round putting darker areas in where you think they would be. Like that. And as you go round your flower, you just add more colour where you think you need to just give a bit more definition on the flower, and just move the colour around. And so I think that you'll agree that just looks beautiful. And then I'm going to clean my brush off. You can fill this with water if you want, but sometimes I find that it floods it with too much water, and I like to control the amount of water it lets out myself. So then I'm going to use the garden green with that, and then you just do the same thing going over the leaves with a little colour where you think. So really it couldn't be easier really, because you've got your lines, your gold embossing. It's very easy, you just stay within the lines. There, like that. And I think that that looks beautiful. Really beautiful. Love this stamp set. So, hopefully that's dry now. Dry enough for us to put that on. I'm just going to leave that a few more seconds. In fact, I'm just going to put the heat on it to just get that to dry off a little quicker than it would. Normally I would let that dry on its own, but obviously you don't want to watch that drying. So now I'm going to get my fuse, and I'm just going to run a nice edge round. Like that. And then I'm going to stick that on my card. Like that. And I think that you will agree that that looks beautiful. Beautiful, I think that looks beautiful. So I hope you'll have a go at a little bit of gold embossing and a bit of watercolouring. It's great fun to do, and you never know what design you're going to make next. So give that a little go. If I can help you with anything, please drop me a line. Until the next time, it's goodbye from me. Bye bye.